Good evening, everyone. This is Jason and Suman, and you are listening to our and watching our Infinite podcast this evening. Today, we have a very exciting guest, Gaurav, on the call, who was part of our first Infinite Accelerator program. But he's here to share some insights and exciting thoughts and discussion with us tonight. Suman, anything else you want to add?
Great, Gaurav. Great to have you. And, your journey is inspiring in a different way, reason being, people will come to know is you are, starting out in the real estate, but, there were certain good traits which probably we would first like you to share. If not, Jason and I would like to share, as mentees, mentors, what we see in you. So, welcome, Gaurav, to the podcast show. Just for the interest of audience, would you like to share something about you?
Thank you, Suman and Jason, for a good introduction. I was not expecting that. My name is Gaurav. I have been in this Infinite community for last few months now, and it has been very inspiring. Uh, People in the community has been very collaborating and accepting. Doesn't matter your experience. Everyone is at a different stage of their real estate journey. But since I'm a new into this field, they have welcomed me very warmly, and they were happy and open enough to share their experience with me so that they can learn some new things about it. So yeah, it's a good
So,
experience so far.
and thanks for those kind words, Gaurav. So, uh, you said you are new into the real estate, you're probably you're starting out. So,
Yep.
uh, and if you don't mind telling to the audience, like, I'm assuming you have a full-time job or a business of that sort.
Yeah, so I do have a full-time job. I work in IT, so
Okay.
I do have a 9 to 5 job. When I
Okay.
say new, I started my real estate journey back in September 2023.
Okay.
Uh, and it started through, I went to a real estate summit in GTA, Mississauga.
Okay.
Uh, and from there, it just captured my attention and wanted to learn more about how things work.
Okay.
So still
So
6 months to 8 months old.
nice, no, and which is good,
Wow.
and you have in these last few months, that you are part of the Infinite. Jason and I, we have seen some great positive traits, which we'll be talking shortly. But the first question I have for you is, from IT, what motivated you? Because majority of people in Canada probably are into IT, and especially the GTA or the Toronto region, right? So, what was your motivation being an IT professional to look towards real estate investing?
Yeah, so it was not in my mind that I would do real estate investing as a side hustle for now.
Yeah.
How it started was let let to give you a little bit of history. So I came to Canada in 2013 as a student. I was in Montreal for 3 years. I did my master's degree there, and then I got into IT. And so I have good 5+ years of experience in IT. But now it seems like one job is not enough, and you need to do something else, to grow in your life and to achieve something. I was not getting that satisfaction personally to, like, it is not enough. I wanted to get wealthy and
Right,
want to get rich. That was the
right,
motivating factor.
right.
And the other motivating factor was in COVID, where I was seeing people buying houses like left and right,
Yeah,
like with their not with their own money, with their own down payment and all those things. So those were so I'm a curious guy. I want to learn how things work,
right,
and that motivated me to go to a summit where I wanted to learn like how are people able to, like, buy real estate with the whole payment down. Like, there is no financing or anything. They
right.
just go in and put their cash down to buy properties. And I was like very curious to know how it all works. So that what led me to the summit, and now I am here learning more about it.
Awesome.
Amazing. And you know what? One thing I was going to say is that I think it doesn't matter your background really, right?
Yep.
I think what you've shared is relatable to anyone. I mean, sure, IT, even I have the IT background too, right? Everyone has some IT
Yep.
background,
Yeah,
but I think that background just helps you, solidify some of this core skills you need to analyze deals, right? To
Yes.
do research, right?
Yep.
But I think what you're going after is relatable to everybody, right, Suman? I think it doesn't have to be people with this type of background. So
This type, exactly. So irrespective of what the background, but the good part is you saw the need of thinking outside the box, or doing something, because like the path we all are kind of going through, right? It's mainly a path we all chose by default, like the job
Yes.
and everything, right? Which we all majority are doing out of necessity, right? uh, so the good part is, first thing, you saw that you needed something. Majority of the people, they're still in that default. They're not even taking few steps forward, right? So that was one good thing. So you had that thing there. And then what were some of the things you were looking for? Like let's say you are going for real estate, right? And there are many things out there. What were some of your criteria to choose any community? And then when you finalized in, like, what were some of the traits that you saw in the community, which made you take that decision?
Well, I went into the summit with a very open mind. I did not have any like a niche where I want to go into the multifamily or fix and flip. Uh, it was more when I started talking with people to understand their journey and to understand what they are specifically looking for
Right,
and where the market is going, because not everything, every niche has its own pros and cons. So
right.
it is basically to align myself of what my goal is, and which niche I'm getting like my goals fulfilled. So that's why I thought multifamily would be a great niche for me to get in. Also, since I'm new,
Right.
uh, I wanted to learn more about all those things and to collaborate more and to leverage each other's experience. And I thought multifamily would be a good avenue to get into.
Awesome.
I just want to ask quick questions. Was that your first? I know this is your first multifamily real estate focus experience at the summit, right? Have you been to other conferences before? Maybe not directly related, or
No,
no?
no,
Yeah,
Even online, watch any YouTube videos or anything like that? No.
no. It was my
awesome.
first ever summit
Ah,
I
that
went into.
okay. Not even
Nice.
YouTube videos. Wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
And that's amazing. So the kind of mindset that
Yeah.
we saw in you is very kind of a pure and a positive one, right? And we'll uncover it as we go through the podcast, right? Is why I'm saying this, because it takes years. Like, Jason and I, we have seen people who are taking years to just even decide on something, which we feel is a long time wasted, because that person could have learned much more, by putting the steps forward. Like the way life happens, right? You cannot predict all the steps. Like, let's say
Yep.
whatever is our age, we cannot plan scenario till the age of 100, right? Like, we are
Yep.
leading life as it is. We have a focus and everything. So the good thing that we saw in you is, you were willing to learn and willing to give it a try, right? Like, you are
Yes.
exploring options, and you did your own research. Like, I still remember the calls that you made. We had a talk and everything, right?
Yep.
We have a common friend from where you were being referred. So the good thing that we saw in you is, you didn't wait, like, let me
Pause a
do
bit.
here.
Gaurav, did you hear Suman's last comment? Or
No, I did not.
No, yeah, I think I had some choppy internet. Yeah. So what I was saying is, you did some your due diligence, and you do those things, but you did not wait for years to take any decision. You thought, okay, let's give it a try. And the same thing happens in real estate, right? Like, when Jason and I, we do these bigger multifamilies, or even the smaller multifamilies, right? We don't know everything, but we know what are the main things to look at, and then we pivot our strategies accordingly,
Yep.
right? And when you have this week one, it's about the multifamily investing mindset. So, what were some of your key takeaways from the week one itself?
I guess my biggest takeaway from the week one was to like expand your mindset to like dream big and not just limit yourself to specific things. And the
Nice.
other was to, to have, like, to network with people. I guess real estate is more about networking, and
Right.
people sometimes forget that, uh,
Right.
because they look at the end goal, which is, but yeah, I guess networking at each stage of the multifamily or in any niche, it is very important. So
Right.
that was one of the big learnings I had, because my mind was very shut off and I never thought of networking as one of the real estate, a stepping stone to a real estate success. So
Right.
so that was one of the mind opening thing for me from in the week one. And the
Amazing.
369 goal and the accountability which we discussed in week one was something I never thought of doing it before. So yeah.
Right. And I think these are the great things, right? Because for me,
I think Suman's internet might be chopping in and out, Gaurav. You just let me know.
Yep.
You can hear him. So, Suman, your internet is chopping in and out. It's about probably like 15 seconds or so, 20 seconds. We couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
You were paused.
okay. Sorry. So I was mainly saying that the mindset thing, right? That is the most important, and the networking aspect, right? Because people think that I will just do something on my own and not be open or visible out there. I think we all are introverts, but if we are in the real estate, we have to be slightly go out of your comfort zone and mingle with people, leverage social media in a right and a responsible way, right? So those things are important for sure, because you can't do business if people don't know you, what you are doing, or what value if you're adding, right? So speaking of value, like you are new, but you're still now visible in the community. So what were some of the things, that initiatives that you took, which now helped you build, like, okay, Gaurav is a positive contributor in the Infinite community. Can you share some examples?
Yeah, so after our week one, when you guys told us to, network with the people we have in the community, so I started reaching out to people and to understand where they are with their real estate journey. And I always used to ask them one question: what input, like what tips you would give to a new real estate investor like me to to prosper in this field. And everyone would be like, more like, I would say 90% of the answers were to do networking. So that was stuck me. And then once we started going week by week, I we thought of doing a group discussion kind of a thing, where we are, as a member of the group, having an open discussion of what we learned, what we are doing, if we can build our power team, share contacts with each other. So those kind of initiatives I took, so that I got everyone together to discuss few things. So so those were some of the initiatives I did to also do my networking and also help each other out, because at the end of the day, you have to give back to the community where you're learning from. So that's what motivated me to do all those things.
Can I just
Yeah,
maybe ask a question about that? So, is there a experience in the past, even before you started a real estate journey? Because you seem like a very, forward-looking. You seem like you're very. It's easy for you to outreach. Well, not maybe easy, but you're natural at it, right, Gaurav? Right.
kinda,
So,
yeah.
yeah, and I noticed that too. And before you joined the community and before doing week one with us, were there other activities you were engaged in, other things, other experience you've had that made you more comfortable with this type of activity?
Well, I always believed in teamwork. Even in my IT job, I always believe in teamwork, and getting like taking along your team, because it's a team success, not just individual success. You're like, if you have to achieve a goal, it's a team sports.
Hundred percent.
I'm a soccer guy, so I like.
Who's your
So
favorite
yeah,
team? Who's your
sorry.
favorite? Who's your favorite team? Do you have a
I don't want to embarrass myself, but it's Chelsea.
oh,
Like,
Chelsea? Okay, no, that's okay.
Nice.
You can be
uh,
Chelsea,
Nice.
and that's fine.
yeah, so in my IT career, I have always, like, trying to encourage everyone to achieve their what they want. So that comes naturally to me. And even during my engineering, I was the team lead in my project and all those things. So
Amazing.
yeah, so that comes naturally to me to bring everyone together.
And I was just going to say, and we can talk about this even later on in the podcast in more detail, is that I was had the privilege of talking to Gaurav and some of in his one of his first, I'm assuming one of the first real estate joint venture teams he's part of, where I found him not to, like his teammates and it was him. It didn't seem like he was a new person to real estate. He seemed like a veteran in the team, supporting the team in a very core manner with the quantitative numbers as well as supporting documentations and facts of the deal. Where some of these other folks, I think they have multiple doors already. So Gaurav, it's
They do,
amazing.
yeah.
You're inspirational, showing what someone can do since September, right, until now. You're already part of a team where Suman, you're looking at a huge like an apartment building, right?
Exactly.
Amazing.
And Gaurav, that is what, is taking you, helping you moving forward is because many people are just trying to find excuses to not take those uncomfortable steps, and what happens is they are only sabotaging their growth and no one else's, right? Because you could have, probably not even given the community try, um, but you thought, okay, taking let me take that uncomfortable step, and you hardly know Jason and I. You just came through a common friend
Yep.
of ours. Uh, you did some due diligence. Not saying that no one should do the due diligence, but there is a point of doing due diligence too. Like my background is in software quality assurance, right? In the previous, there is a saying that you know there is no end to doing a quality assurance or due diligence, right? But we all have to have a cut point. What are the major things we want to check, and then give it a try, and then change it accordingly, right? So I think
Yep.
that is one good thing you did. Second mindset block that we see in people say, oh, I am new to industry, what can I do? But you still overcome that second block is like, okay, I can at least network to people. I can see what are the action items for just week one itself. You were not like, oh, let me talk about big apartments. You will still eventually get there. But what good things you were doing is, what is the task at hand, action items at hand. You're taking those religiously and trying to contribute with the best step forward.
Yep.
Even though you were new, what traits we saw, which we would highlight is, you were focusing, like, let's say the week one goals were, okay, identify the mindset blocks. You did that thing. You made your goals. You network with people, and you were basically trying to add value in people's thing, not like being self-centered, but
Yep.
coming as a contributor, right? So those are the most important things we share with people, is that you can never figure out everything in real estate, right? So, and then, as Jason mentioned, now you were collaborating. So now, had you been sitting alone and doing things on your own, maximum you will go to realtor.ca and just look at the single family and say, hey, you know what, it's not working. You will go back to your IT again, right?
Yep.
But now, with the community, and you're forming that alliance, you are even confident to look at the apartment level things, right?
Yep.
So that is there. And also, one other initiative that you took, which I would like to highlight to our podcast listener, is you started forming like internal study groups. So whatever weeks we have,
Yep.
Gaurav took the initiative, like, let's come up and do the revision and study together. So what was happening is, even though you are new, people see those positive traits in you, right? So that's some of the things I would highlight to people, those who are listening, especially people who have these kind of roadblocks, that I'm new, or I have nothing to contribute. They have that feeling. I think you should take Gaurav's example, because he exactly, I think, Gaurav, you did what Jason and I did when we started, right? So, Jason, do you want to share when you started what you did? Because I know you were networking as well, and that's how Jason and I we met.
Well, I mean, in real estate, right? I I didn't actually invest first, right? When I first
Yeah,
started the journey,
right.
I looked at other people online to see who was active, like you, Gora, right? You
Yep.
know, you haven't read, and I wanted to see who would be. a person where I could maybe connect with, because personally I only asked that question to you earlier, Gaurav, is because I'm not as natural as you, reaching out to people and announcing yourself and putting yourself out there. So I found an individual named Suman who seemed to be out there a lot, and I
Yeah,
invested in one of his deals just to start. And from
exactly.
there, it really opened the door, but it really shows the power. And that's why, in addition to, of course, Infinite, the real estate side that we're coaching here, I mean, Suman really talks about social media as well as a means to connect and be successful. So, yeah, so you're doing the great thing. And I don't know if Suman, if you want to comment on, your social media efforts and how you
Right.
put yourself out there too, right?
Absolutely. Because 2 years back, Gaurav, whatever things you did, I started the same way, right? Because I was starting on my own. And that's where I had the same thing. Like, if I would have thought myself that I have nothing to contribute, you know, we will never get forward, right? So what I did similar, like I have IT background as well, like you. So be irrespective of any field you are, it's not just applicable to IT, right? It's any field that you come from, you have some great qualities. Like if you are a project manager, construction background, or a realtor, mortgage, every your life and your work experience has some transferable skills, right?
Yep.
Which you can bring, and then what you're doing is you're supplementing those things along with other things that you don't know, or you're partnering with people, right? So I leveraged social media the right way. So what I used to do is I network with people just like you did. And one
Yep.
good thing I picked up from you, Gaurav, is you asked like, what is that one tip you'd like to give if someone is starting out? So that was a great thing. And those who are listening and they are starting out, I would say definitely ask this question, because you'll be learning. And then second thing, what I did, I was leveraging social media in a right and responsible. So not asking for something, but sharing value, the
Yep.
updates, right? So what happens when you do those things consistently over a period of time, people can perceive. Like many of my investors, partners, they were able to soak into what I was giving. And then depending on the people, you make the perceptions, right? For
Yep.
example, Jason saw it, and had I not been out there, I don't think Jason and I would have started the way we started, right? So people think that I need capital, I need partner, I'm not getting, but you should rather ask what are we contributing to the community, how active we are, right? So those were some
Yep.
of the great things. And so what is your 2024 things means, if you want to share, like what is your vision for 2024?
Yeah, so I have been collaborating with few people in our Infinite community, and we are looking at few apartment buildings in Edmonton and Saskatoon
Awesome.
right now. So the 2024 goal would be to close on those ones and at least get to 50 doors. That's
Awesome.
my realistic 2024 goal right now.
Awesome. And would you think you would have done or even looked at these kind of deals on your own?
I don't think so. I would have
At
done
least
that.
not in 2024, right?
Yes, I wouldn't have. I would have started with duplex or triplex or started small. But if you're collaborating with people who have much more experience than you are, so you leverage their experience and try to build your portfolio along with them. And as I said, it's a team game. It's not the individual game. So
Maybe
Absolutely.
maybe I can ask just if I may talk about the group that you started, because on this podcast we want to give opportunities to different groups to talk about what they're doing in general too. I know
Yeah.
your other peers are not on the call right now, but yeah, maybe you can talk about the project you guys are looking at, and also how did you select? I mean, it's a mutual selection, right? It's not you selecting, right?
yes, yeah,
How did you how did you form this group? And I was lucky enough to meet you guys together on the weekends.
yeah. So it was so we met in one of the meetups in Mississauga, when the Infinite meetup we had, I guess in December or November. So I meet with one of the members and the other one just joined in. Uh, so yeah, so it So we just collaborated. We had the same goal. We wanted to do something collaboratively, and everyone was stuck somewhere because everyone had individual portfolios, and we wanted to collaborate and go and get something big. So yeah, so we had the same goal and same mindset. So we thought of collaborating and see how it goes.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think Jason, that's how I think even if you see, right, Jason and I, we were talking to each other, networking, and then we found out that okay, the mindset aligns, and that's the first thing, if you're not going in the same direction, or you are only like, thinking of, taking more from the other partner, that
Yeah,
doesn't go well, right? So,
yeah.
and did you know these guys before, or was it in the Infinite community you found about them?
It was in the Infinite community I found
Okay,
about them.
that
Yeah.
so
So yeah,
basically you leverage the networking and the meetups and the community,
yeah,
and I'm assuming you will must have done more calls
yes,
just to get to know each other, right?
yep, yep.
So are you guys now having some kind of weekly meetups? Like what would be some of your tips for people who are starting out new and they are looking for collaboration? Like uh, should they have like weekly touch points, or what kind of questions did you ask or get asked by your other partners to decide the alliance?
Yeah, so we do talk on a regular basis on WhatsApp, and we do have our weekly meetup, weekly touch up on
Nice.
weekends.
Okay.
Uh, I guess the first call was just to understand where we are in our journey, what are our goals, what are our buy box criterias, and if everything aligns, then yeah, we can work together and see how it goes. So those were
Great.
some initial conversations we had. Uh, and yeah, so it's still going good. We are still collaborating on a much larger level now. So yeah,
Nice.
hoping something come to life in
No,
next few months.
definitely. I think there's no doubt. And even if we say that, if let's say the deal doesn't go through, that's fine. Like that's not
Yeah,
like people think unless, yeah, sure, closing matters, but uh, the way you are moving forward, not every deal will reach to a closure, right? Some will not qualify from the due diligence. Some will probably, financing might have challenges, but that's okay. As long as, you go through these uncomfortable steps and keep moving forward,
yeah,
you are way better than what you would have done on your own, and you're way
yes,
better than your peers. So that's what you would do. Like there was a good takeaway for me when Jason talked about. Jason, do you want to share? I'm forgetting the lobster example or something where you say that deal flow, the success rate is so less, but
Well, I mean, it is certainly something we have in our videos, of course, right?
yeah,
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 But so I mean, we have it's not it's one example where you use a lobster because Suman and I have a joint venture multifamily property in the lobster capital of the world, which is Shediac, New Brunswick,
yeah,
and uh, the animal itself. I mean, they lay I think like 100,000 eggs, right? And of the eggs, we ask our mentees, right? How many do you think is going to survive? It's less than 1%. It's 0.02% or something very small like
yeah,
that. And hence, that's why you have to put yourself out there. Any interaction, whether it be social media, whether it be in person, or even deals and stuff in life, right? The more eggs you lay, right? The
yeah,
more seeds you plant, right? The more potential that you'll have to actually pick up. Because again, just like in nature, only less than 1% chance where something actually succeeds, right? In nature. And I feel
yeah,
that's the same in business as well. So it's great that you have yourself out there, Gaurav, and it looks like you're doing really well already. So maybe, you picked the right egg.
yeah,
exactly. And that is the most important. So you are, the steps that you are taking, and what happens is when because we have gone through the same path, even other folks who are ahead in the industry, they have gone through the same path. The path doesn't change. Everyone has to go through that uncomfortable,
yeah,
whether you are starting out, whether you are doing larger apartments, right? The process and the mindset remains the same. Taking these, like there is no right or wrong answer. Like
yeah,
even Jason and I, we love the residential multifamily, we like the commercial. So we train or believe in training people in different strategies, like buying on your own. We have done those things. We also train people in those. We train people on the residential multifamily, and we also train people on the joint venture and the apartment syndication, because there are so many great deals out there. But if you are not well trained, what will happen is, if you're only going with one strategy, what if that doesn't work and you don't know the other two, three strategies? You would have missed out on a great deal just because you don't have the right partner or you don't have the right strategies, right? So I'm assuming, like, when you decided Alberta, or I'm sure you did some light
Yeah.
market research. So what were some of the things that made you look towards the Alberta market?
I guess the main thing was the landlord tenant board.
Okay.
Uh, it's way more friendly towards the landlords as compared to any other provinces.
Right.
The other one is it is a growing market. It's on the expansion route right now. Uh,
Okay.
uh, Calgary and Edmonton are trying to diversify their economy, not just based on the oil, but the other IT sectors and all those things as well. So there are a lot of industries coming in, and if you look at the population trend in Alberta, it is growing in last few months.
Okay.
So we thought of it would be a great market to invest in, and Saskatchewan because they are getting a mining boom in 2026. I guess they are getting a new mining coal industry. They have the mining industry, but they are going to establish a company in 2026. So that would require uh, more resources for them to get those things rolling. So
Awesome.
we thought of investing in that market as well.
Nice. And from the financing and capital raising perspective, what were some of your takeaways or like aha moments? Okay, that probably I'll be using those kind of strategies on a high level, of course. Like,
Yeah.
what are the different kind of investments or capitals which you feel that can help you take this deal to closure if the numbers make sense?
Yeah, I guess so. One is the VTB. I did not know what the was seller financing before I started. So that was so all the creative financing options were very new to me when I started.
Okay.
I was not aware of seller financing, as I said, and it was a aha moment. Yesterday, I learned something new about the equity rolling. I have
Yeah.
never heard of that. So it
Right.
was so that was something I was reading about it yesterday. So there are a few strategies they can implement for financing, which I had no idea back in September 2023.
Awesome. And it's just been few months, and look at the way you are talking. Your power team is increasing. You did not know some of the people. Now you are networking, and they're talking. Right? And this is what is realist. Like, the reason why we have these podcasts from different backgrounds of people, just to share that real estate is not confined to any specific degree or work profession. And no matter what's your background, you have some
Yep.
great things you can bring it here, because it's a combination of your life experience, personal experiences, your qualities. Like, there are so many great investors out there, but because of maybe their human traits, they probably are struggling, versus someone else who is, people want to work with them, right?
Yep.
So it's not just the deal, it's also the people who are involved in the deal that does make a difference, right?
Agreed. Yep.
And the kind of traits that you had, you could have made 100 excuses why you cannot take the next step or the first step, right? But you are just trying to overcome, and whenever you need, you are one of the things that we feel pride on at Infinite, being the mentors, is the accessibility that we provide
Yep.
to the people, right? We are just one message away, and there is no
Yes.
fixed criteria, right?
Yep.
I think, Jason, you mentioned you were on a weekend support with them on their deals, right? So
Yes. He
these
was.
are
Yeah.
the thing, is our top priority, right? That's the main thing, because we know what we feel through when you're not getting the support, right?
Yeah.
So
And I was just gonna say, like, I mean, the energy, right? The passion is
yeah,
there, right? And I think I always use the quote, a rising tide raises all ships, right? So I
yeah,
mean, if we are all on different ships all in our different portfolios, if we all support each other, that energy from each of the teams that
Yep.
really raise the water level will help everybody. And I think even on a Sunday morning in between different activities,
Yep.
everyone was on their phones or whatever, and we got on the phone and talked about a very exciting deal, which I'm sure Gaurav will share very soon with the
Yes,
community.
I will.
Right.
Yep.
So that's what, we wanted to, that's why we wanted to cover your journey, because it's it's very appealing, and it will inspire probably so many people who are there in your same situation. Majority are in working category, they are starting out, and just the message that I have taken from your journey is, no matter where you are in the situation, you can still share your positivity, and you can still network with people, get to know. And the essential thing is to reach out to people.
Yep.
Had you not reached out, or had you not formed these initiatives, I'm sure the partners would never have got the confidence to work. And when you are uniting, right, you are more stronger than what you can do on your own, right?
Yep.
I saw a very nice movie yesterday. It's a Bollywood movie, so where there was the main hero was the star, the solo star, but he never used to be like a team player. So his commanding officer told that when you are performing alone, or when you are just thinking about yourself, you are the weakest person in your team, because you are going against the team, right? So the main thing is to be a contributor inside the team and make the team win. And
Yep.
so that's, I think, what we believe at the Infinite community.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I
And
know which movie you're talking about.
Yes. Yeah, those who want to watch the movie, the movie's name
don't
was
don't don't
Fighter.
don't
Yeah.
spoil it. Don't
No,
spoil.
I
No
won't. I
spoiler,
won't.
yes, no
Don't
spoiler.
spoil it.
But the name of the movie was Fighter.
Yep.
So I really like that idea, and I can relate of the concept of collaboration. So any final tips? What will be some of the top three tips from you, Gaurav, to people, those who are
Yep.
starting out, or maybe they are stuck in their head,
Uh,
or they are not able to move ahead and making hundreds of excuses just for them in their head.
and
Yeah.
al- and
Sorry,
also
go ahead.
just if you can frame it too. I mean, you can definitely answer this. Apologies to interrupt, but you
Yep.
talked about how you really enjoyed the 3, 6, 9, 12, right? Maybe talking in terms of the timelines as well, because you haven't been in the real estate world for too long. So love to hear from you.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess that the number one tip I would give to a new investor is to reach out and network with as many people as you can. Because once you start hearing what other people are doing, it gives you a confidence, because not a lot of people are doing great things. A lot of people are with you, along with you, but you just need to uh, like find a common point, because there are some relatable things you can obviously relate with, and then you can uh, see where what inspires them, like how did they get to that mindset and where they are right now. So I would say reach out to as much people as you can and learn from them and learn from their experiences. That's the fastest way you can learn. And if you find, so for example, I was talking to someone and they started throwing jargons of cap rate and all those things, which I had no idea about. But then you can
Yeah.
just Google it and learn about those things. You're just
Right.
a step ahead of. So you try to come with their level of understanding of what they are talking. So if you're stuck, you can ask them openly what is that, or you can just do your own research. So that's one step. The second tip would be, as Jason mentioned, you should keep yourself accountable of what you're doing. It is very easy to get lost in your journey, and you need your why of why you are doing this thing, and what is motivating you. Because I remember when I started talking with someone, he said it's not a pretty journey all the time. There would be
Yeah.
stress in your life, and it's a good stress. It's not a bad stress. It will be a good
Right.
stress, but there will be times where you feel low. So
Right.
that's the moment where you have to go back to your why statement and understand why you started doing this.
Right.
So that's the tip number two I would give. And I guess the tip number three is to be open, keep an open mind, keep an open mind to learn with people, keep an open mind to collaborate with people. There is no wrong and right in real estate. You will make
Yeah.
mistake. And one thing which also captured, like it stuck in my mind, is if you're investing in stocks, the stocks can go to zero and you will lose all your money. But in real estate, you will still have some value to a burned property, so it will
Yeah.
never go to zero. So
That's a
Like
good
that.
one. Yeah. And yes, no, of course, and those are great things. And investment, yes, we tell people, when we are also talking to partners, that yes, any investment, is risky, but you have to see the kind of risk, like, and weigh those things. And that was a great example, and those are the great tips. Any final things from your side, Jason?
I think that this really shows that anything is possible. Doesn't mean that you have to have all the experience in the world or even do all the research or analysis in the world with analysis paralysis. Get into it, meet people, and um, it's such a win-win-win opportunity because you're learning, you're meeting people, and you're actually taking the next steps and you're actually moving forward, right?
yep,
Because 100% of zero is still zero.
yep.
Okay,
So
exactly.
yeah,
So no, those are great things, and we really feel proud that you decided to be part of the Infinite community, and you're sharing so much positive vibes and great things. And I think Jason and I, we both have. I'm sure that it just keeps getting better for you. So keep doing the great things, and thank you so much for being part of the podcast.
No, thank you very much, Suman and Jason, for giving me this opportunity, and I feel very blessed to be part of this community.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, and
Yep,
thanks everyone for joining us.
thank you.